Are you ready to be empowered with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in yourself, to overcome your fears and battle through every challenge and bully you face, both real and in your mind? Are you ready to learn life-changing strategies on how to develop the right mindset and positive mental attitude to courageously stand out in the crowd and be who you were born to be? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Building Warrior Confidence Podcast. Greetings and welcome to another uplifting, life-changing episode of the Building Warrior Confidence Podcast. Well, how you doing today? Hopefully you're having a great day and that this episode makes it even better. And if you're not having a great day, then I'm hopeful this episode is exactly what you need. Well, I'm your host, Master Rich Grogan, and I'm truly blessed and extremely grateful for your time today. And I promise you, as always, I'm going to do everything I can to give you everything I can to make the podcast and our time together valuable, enjoyable, and educational. Is my goal with every show, video, book, presentation, everything I do that I try to do is help empower you and your loved ones with that extra boost of confidence to help you believe in yourself just a little bit more. And then the more confident you are, the more you believe in yourself, the more you have that warrior confidence, boy, oh boy, the more you're going to get out of life, and you're going to live what I like to call your best kick in life. Sound good? Sound good? Well, every time I say that, I get pumped. I almost had to pause and say, yeah. That's what I'm doing here. And just a reminder, I want to help strengthen your warrior confidence, empower you with hope, faith, and confidence to overcome any fear, battle through any challenge you're facing or bully you're facing, both real and, of course, the meanest bully, talk about all the time, is the bully in our mind. Oftentimes, and hopefully you haven't experienced in some time a real bully in life. And if you have, this will definitely help. But that bully in our mind, that's the bully that seems to always come calling at the worst times, right? When we're feeling down, that's when the bully in our mind decides that it's going to start taking its shots. It never comes at us when we're feeling at our best. It always comes when we're feeling down. And that's what we're going to talk about today on today's show. So why don't we just dive right in? Does that sound good? All right. Well, this is episode number 332. And the title is, Does Motivation Last? What do you think? Does it? No, it doesn't. You probably already knew that because you've probably experienced something. You've went to a conference or you've went to, or maybe you've had an opportunity where we've had a chance to chat or a workshop, or you've went to an event and you got all pumped up. You got all motivated. You're like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. This is going to change my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to implement this. It's going to happen. This is the right way. This is the road. This is the path. Yes, finally. And that's good. But you know what happens? What happens is Monday comes along or the next day comes along and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm still motivated. I'm still, going to do this. But, life, I've got to go to work. I've got to do stuff with my kids. Or, you know what? I've got to have a long overdue conversation with my spouse. Or, I've got to deal with an issue at the bank or at work. But you know what? I'm still motivated. I'm still going to do that. I worked on it. I learned something over this weekend. I'm going to set those goals. I'm going to start prioritizing my time. I'm going to get time to go to the gym, just not today because, well, I've got all this other stuff to do, but I'm going to get to it. Then, of course, what happens? The next day. Well, gosh darn it. I stayed up a little later than I should have. I was watching the hockey game last night and went to overtime, so I'm a little tired. But you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to do it. I'm going to set my routine. I'm going to get up earlier. I'm going to get into the gym. I'm going to get up earlier just so I'm not rushing out the door late and in a chaotic panic rush. Tomorrow's going to be the day. Go to bed, wake up the next day. Well, I'm just not feeling that well today. I'm a little tired. It's Wednesday. Thursday I'll do it. Have you had that happen before? I say that because that's pretty much that verbatim the things that I've said in the past and still have to catch myself from saying. It happens. So does motivation last? No, it doesn't. It wears off quickly. But as Zig Ziglar used to say, no, motivation doesn't last, but neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So my goal with today's show is, one, take you, if you've ever said those things, and I think most folks have, unfortunately. When's the last time you said them? When's the last time you got motivated? Hopefully the last time you listened to my podcast, you got all motivated, and hopefully it lasted a little longer. But if it didn't, well, that's why you're listening in today, and hopefully this motivation will last just a little bit longer than the other motivation, but it'll also remind you that the way to keep it, kind of the secret to staying inspired, motivated, empowered, is we need to do it daily, just like bathing. You know, you don't want to wait until you're flat out stinky. Man, whoo, gosh, you stink, to take a bath or a shower, right? No, preventive maintenance there. Keep that going, right? You know, put on your deodorant. Well, your deodorant for your mind could be, well, the daily bathing, flushing out all the negative garbage, but then also soaking up the good, man. Listen to motivational podcasts like this one here, doing what you can to plant the right seeds in your mental garden. Because if you wait, then you got to work twice as hard to get it out. So a couple things I had listed here, which makes perfect sense. You know, don't wait until you're dehydrated to take a drink, because oftentimes you wait that long, what's going to happen? You're going to be irritable. You're going to be cranky. Not only are you dehydrated, you're probably going to get a headache, going to be moody. Your muscles may start cramping up. Stay hydrated, right? Don't wait till you get dehydrated to take a drink. Same thing, don't wait till you stink to take a shower. If you need a shower, take a shower. Now, if you've been working out or working in the yard or whatever the case may be, and you've gotten through the day, that's good, man. Put in some sweat. But in order to get that stink off, what do we got to do? We got to shower. In order to get that motivation going in our mind, we got to plant the right things in our mind. Not negative thoughts, not negative limiting beliefs, not self-doubt, which, of course, that's the stink of your mind. That pops up anywhere. Of course, most of the time, it's the most inopportune times, right? Or when you're kind of in a lull, that's when it really pops up. Why? Well, part of your brain's called the reticular activating system. And what your reticular activating system does, it's like a filter for your mind. And what it does, it focuses on and hones in on and magnifies whatever you're thinking about or focusing on. Because the average person has anywhere from 85,000 to 100,000, depending on how active your mind is, thoughts a day. Woo! Now, you would go absolutely bonker nuts if you tried to focus in, nuttier than maybe your normal day, if you tried to focus in on 85,000 thoughts. So your reticular activating system, as I mentioned, forms as a filter. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to, wherever your thoughts are focusing on, that reticular activating system is going to say, hey, this is what Rich wants. Let's give it to him. Now, the reticular activating system is non-biased in any way. So it's going to give you whatever you focus on, good or bad, in a large quantity. And it's just going to keep hitting you with it. It's going to keep coming. An example I give a lot is, so say you bought a new car or a truck, and you drive it off the lot there, and suddenly, say it's a blue truck, you start seeing blue trucks everywhere. You're like, well, what the heck? And you may think, well, of course, everybody's got a blue truck. I'm cool. I got a blue truck. Everybody wants to be like me. Maybe you don't really say that, but maybe a part of your brain thinks that. Well, as cool as you are, I promise you, it's not just because you got a blue truck that suddenly everybody is out there getting blue trucks. They have always been there. You just have never really noticed because it wasn't something that you were focusing on. And ladies, I mentioned this a lot. You buy a new dress or new shoes or whatever. You get a new hairstyle, and suddenly that hairstyle is everywhere. That dress, those shoes are everywhere. Well, once again, as cool as you are, just because you got it, I'm guessing not everybody just went out and got it. Maybe they did. But oftentimes, it's because you weren't focusing on those things, and now you are. So I bring all that up because that's the same way negativity works. The reticular activating system, if you're in a little lull, in a pit, kind of feeling down, nothing's going right. Only luck I got, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. And we've probably all said that, had those thoughts. Well, guess what? When you say that and have those thoughts, what seems to happen? More bad luck. Yeah, everything that can go wrong tends to go wrong. It's like, that sounds kind of, I don't know, voodoo-ish or something. That's just the way the mind works. That's the way the reticular activating system works. It's special. It's awesome. But if it can do that for the bad, guess what? It can also do it for the good. So if you're able to stay motivated daily, if you're able to stay positive, lift yourself up, Tell your mind, hey, I'm going to focus on positive today. I'm going to look for the good. And what you look for, you'll surely find. Where did I read that at? I think that was in the Bible, wasn't it? Yeah, what you look for, you'll surely find. Good stuff? So, motivation lasts. No, it doesn't. We got to stay motivated. Just like we need to stay hydrated every day. We need to stay motivated every day. Stay inspired every day. Just like if we don't want to stink, we got to shower every day. What about eating? Do you wait till you're absolutely starving to eat? Well, sometimes you get wrapped up in life and the hustle and bustle and everything else is going on. You know, your job, relationships, running your kids here and there. Sometimes we put ourselves last. We wait till that stomach is growling, and we're like, oh, I'm so hungry. But what happens when we wait till we're starving? Well, just like when we wait, when we become dehydrated before we take a drink, when our body doesn't function properly, and our mind certainly doesn't function properly. I know me personally, I get very irritable, very frustrated extremely easy if I'm hungry and dehydrated. Why? Because our brain needs nutrients. It needs water. It needs something, right? It needs the fuel. And then, of course, your body isn't functioning properly. When your body's not functioning properly, your stomach's growling, you're not feeling good, then, of course, back up to the mind. Now the mind's even more irritable. So don't wait till you're starving to eat. Don't wait till you're dehydrated to grab something to drink. Don't wait till you stink to take a shower. Stay motivated. Or take care of those things, right? But the same thing, a tongue twister here. Make sure your motivation doesn't dip down either. Now, oftentimes what happens is we get so wrapped up in everything else going on in life that we wait till we're in a kind of a funk or a rut or just kind of in a pit before we say, all right, you know what? Gosh dang, nothing else seems to help. You know what? When I was motivated, I felt pretty good about myself. I was inspired. I was able to do these things. Well, let's go back and get that motivation now. And that's good. That's real good. But my advice is don't wait until you're so depressed that you're grabbing for anything. Because oftentimes when we're in those lulls and we're so desperate just to get motivated, just to feel better, we grab the wrong thing. Think about this. You wait till you're starving, and now you're like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm too hungry, too cranky, I don't want to cook anything good, I don't want to cook a nutritious meal. I'm just going to go through the drive-thru and get whatever I can get. Why? It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, you're desperate. And then what happens? Well, you take a bite, and you're like, oh boy, yeah, it was quick, it was simple, it was easy, I didn't have to make it, but now it really didn't give me with the nutrients I wanted. I really don't feel much better about myself. I feel horrible. Ugh. And you know what? I need a pick-me-up. So I'm going to get a soda or a Mountain Dew or maybe even, coffee. And have your coffee. My point is, though, if you're waiting till you're dehydrated to drink something like that, or you're waiting till you're down, you don't have any energy, easy for me to say, well, that's a good quick pick-me-up. Bang, it picks you up all right. But then what's it do a few hours later, or even if that long? It drops you. So the thing about motivation and desperation is sometimes we get so desperate because we're lacking the motivation, the inspiration, the empowerment we need. And just like when you get desperate when you're hungry, you oftentimes don't take the time because you don't feel like it, because you don't have the energy to make something nutritious. You get something that, it's a quick hit. But boy, oh boy, it doesn't last long, and it definitely didn't satisfy what you were wanting. Well, once again, the same thing happens when you grab the wrong straw of motivation. You latch onto something that maybe isn't the best for you. Maybe the person you don't connect with gets you all hyped up, but then in that you're like, man, I got pumped up, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with those values. I don't know if I agree with what they're saying. But, it must be. They've got a talk show, or they got a podcast, or they got a YouTube channel, or they wrote a book. I guess it must be good. My whole point of all this is when we're desperate, when we're starving, when we're dehydrated, we don't make the best decisions. We do something quick and impulsive that usually backfires on us. However, if we're able to stay hydrated throughout the day by constantly drinking water, if we're able to eat every few hours something small, or if we've got our meal plan set out and we eat the right things, we're not going to get in that desperation mode. Well, the same thing with our mindset, same thing with our motivation, our inspiration, our empowerment. Stay empowered. Listen to motivational things daily. You can listen to this podcast more than once, because I guarantee if you listen to it more than once, you're going to pick up on something that you may have missed the first, second, or third time listening to it. Now, Zig Ziglar would always say, listen to his audio tapes, minimum, he encourages, minimum of 16 times. Now, that's some research that they did that after listening that many times, you're going to have picked up on all the things that you may have missed on the previous times of listening to it. And the thought behind that is every time you listen to something, a second, third, fourth, fifth, 16th time is, and my goal is put out podcasts regularly. So, after listening to 2 or 3 times, the next one airs. So you can pick up with the next one, talking about the next topic, whatever that may be. But the whole idea behind that is when you listen to something more than once, you're on a higher level of learning or understanding or education or wisdom or knowledge than you were the first time you listened to it. So your mind is automatically going to pick up on something that it skimmed over the first time. Just like reading a book more than once or twice or 3 times, or listening to an audible book. I don't know how many times, the book I've probably read more than just about any other is the 4 Agreements. Fantastic book by Don Miguel Ruiz. I've talked about it, actually did a whole show on it not too terribly long ago, so you can kind of go back through past episodes and listen to that one. But as many times as I've read it and listened to the audible book on it, and even watched some YouTube videos on it, I'll swear each time it's like, gosh dang, did he sneak into my office here and rewrite this book? Because I swear this wasn't in here when I read it last time. As a matter of fact, I don't remember reading this part at all. Well, the reason is whatever I was, I don't say desperate for, but searching for at that time, that's what I picked up on. And maybe by reading that, it established a layer of wisdom or knowledge, something I didn't know. So when I hear it or read it again, now I'm at a higher level. I'm picking up something I didn't know or see or even absorb the first couple times. Does that all make sense? I mean, I'm telling you, that's a real life example. And it's basically, what Zig had talked about, listening to things more than once. So, but the biggest thing is we cannot wait until we're in dehydration mode or starving to death or stinky as heck, right? Before we, or depressed and in a lull and a funk, before we do something about it. But we want to make sure we do it before we get in desperation mode, because desperation mode, holy snikes, that's when we, once again, you grab for anything. And unfortunately, oftentimes we grab for the thing that's the easiest, the quickest, and definitely isn't the most nutritional or healthiest or the best thing for us. So stay motivated daily. And there's a ton of ways to do it. As I encourage you, the fact that you're listening to my voice right now, that's the whole reason I do it. Yeah, it makes me feel good that people take the time out of their day to listen. Well, I better make sure I'm doing my research, putting in my work, being as genuine and as transparent as possible, sharing my struggles and stories. And then, of course, ways that I've battled through and overcame, or things I'm working on right now that maybe some are working, some aren't. But with me being able to do this, that's my motivation. Yeah, and I tell you, when I get myself in little lulls and lows and this and that, the last thing I want to do is come and do a podcast, do a video blog, post something to YouTube, post something inspirational on Facebook. Why? Because the bully in my mind is saying, oh, does anybody really want to listen to you? They want to read your stuff? No, they don't. That's real life. That's that conversation I have in my mind. That's that bully within. He's in there. He's in everybody's mind. But I know when I'm like, you know what? It's just like when you're feeling down, the best thing you can do is exercise. It really is. Listen to some motivational music, listen to a motivational podcast, but get out there and exercise. Why? The endorphin release in your brain, and it kind of changes everything up. Yeah. Action. Something moving. Something physical. Changes your mindset. Now, do your problems go away? No. Problems don't go away until you do something to solve them. However, after you've exercised, after you listen to something motivational, what happens is your mind is now clearer or more focused on a solution, because you're not focused so much on why you can't solve the problem, why you're not smart enough to solve the problem, why the problems just keep happening to me. Now, that gets in that pity party mindset, or that plum disease, as Zig would talk about. Plum disease is poor little old me. It's one of the worst diseases we can have, right? You get in that little lull. You can't get out of it. But doing something, changing things up, That's what helps. That's a part of motivation as well. So, does motivation last? Nope, sure doesn't. But neither is bathing, neither is eating, neither is drinking water. We got to keep doing it. But we got to make sure we don't get in desperation mode, because desperation mode is the worst place you can be, because oftentimes, as you've heard me say 2 or 3 times already on this show, we're grabbing at straws, baby. We're grabbing the easiest, quickest thing, and oftentimes that's not the best thing for us. That's not the best thing that's going to help us long term. And essentially that's what we want. So little by little by little by little. Now, so example I've given many, many times, especially at the beginning of the year, we get in desperation mode if we've gained more weight than we like. So we're like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to change up my eating habits. I'm going to start exercising. And what do? You go from 0 to 100 in a week. You completely go. You go from, eating maybe not the best. We'll just flat out say it. You're eating garbage. You're cramming in whatever you want through the drive-through. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's good. That's really, really good. But then we got to make sure we do the other preparatory steps of going to the store, buying the right meals, planning the time to cook the right meals, getting ourselves, whatever kind of cup we need to make sure we've got that filled with water every day. It's a little pre-planning, little steps. But I'm telling you, if you don't take those steps, going 0 to 100 isn't going to last. And then we go to the gym and we kill ourselves. We hit every piece of machinery in the gym. We do that for a week straight. We are so miserable. We're in so much pain. We can't sleep. We're like, I ain't ever doing that again. Doesn't last. Like motivation doesn't last. We got to string it out. Slow and steady wins the race. You got to think. I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday at our community pool, and he was talking about how he wants to get in better shape. He wants to lose weight, and he's determined to do it. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna have by the end of next month, I'm gonna have dropped 15 pounds. That's my goal. I'm gonna do it. And I said, well, it's good. It's good to it's great to have goals, but you got to remember that the shape you're in right now, regardless, good or bad, did not happen overnight. That means it's not going to reverse itself overnight. Chances are, if you're 15, 20 pounds heavier than you want to be, that didn't happen overnight. That happened over a course of, maybe months, years. Who knows? So it's going to take a little time to get that off. Get it off the right way. Now, of course, there's those desperation modes. I can drink this drink and then stay on the toilet all day for the whole weekend and drop 10 pounds over a weekend. But is that really healthy for you? Well, I'll let you decide on that one. Absolutely not. And then what ends up happening again? Well, your body, it's definitely a shock to the system. It's not at all healthy. Your internal organs are saying, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, you lost 10 pounds. You got it all out. But you've done nothing to change a habit, change a pattern, change a process. And then you go to eat something, and I guarantee what your body's going to say, that first meal you eat, if you're able to keep it down at all, your body's going to say, whoa, let's pump the brakes here. Who knows what he's going to do next time? Is he going to try and drop 10 pounds? Is he going to try and flush all this out? We better hold back as much as we can. And that's your metabolism talking. So that's why I always encourage, plan your meals and plan them out. And if your body knows, that's how you regulate metabolism. If your body knows that it's going to get fed every 3 to 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours, whatever you set there, something small, then your body's going to burn as much as it possibly can because it knows it's going to get fed real soon. However, one of the worst things you can do is to skip meals. Because if you skip a meal, and here's a scenario I'm talking, and this all ties into kind of your motivation to program your eating schedules and your food and your nutritional intake. Is what happens is, say you decide you're going to skip, I don't know, you have a small breakfast, you skip lunch, and then now you're starving. So for dinner, you say, well, I didn't eat anything for lunch, so I'm going to have a big meal. Well, your body says, especially if you do this after time, because metabolism regulates itself on whatever you do on a regular basis. The same thing, your body regulates itself on what you do on a regular basis. And same thing with motivation. So I encourage that regularly. But your body's going to say, if you light breakfast, skip lunch, just pigged out for dinner, your body's going to say, well, wait a minute. You pretty much starved me all day long. And then I got this big dinner. So I'm going to have to wait all the way until 24 hours from now, 7 o'clock. We'll just say that's the time you ate dinner. 7 o'clock on at night is when he's going to eat again. So I got to hold back as much as I possibly can so I don't go through starvation mode until 7 o'clock. Now, it's tough for me. I'm on the ice with my son for hockey practice, and I'm playing again. So there's a lot of nights, and this is the worst thing to do, but I'm just letting you know, I've got to do a little better job of regulating that. Sometimes I don't get home, and all the years of working at the Martial Arts Academy, till 10 o'clock at night. That's a terrible time to eat dinner. So I got to make sure I'm eating dinner before I go, and then eating something light maybe after I've worked out and exercised in order to go to bed, because I kind of got off on a nutritional track here, but it all ties in with motivation. I'll hopefully motivating you to do a better job of your eating schedule, and also so I can hear it, so I can do a better job as well. But your hardest working system in your body is your digestive system. So the worst things you can do is eat right before you go to bed, because your digestive system, which is the hardest working system in your body, is working overtime, and you're not moving around very much in your sleep, hopefully not, but your digestive system's got to work. So if it's working extremely hard, then your body's really not fully at rest. That's why you wake up the next day and you're exhausted. It's because your digestive system were working overtime trying to burn the food that you just took in, and you didn't sleep and rest very well. But as I said, you go from there, you go to have a light breakfast, no lunch, and you don't eat anything until dinner time, and you pig out at dinner, your body's going to hold that back. And of course, that's the worst thing you could do. Then decide to say you follow that routine, and the next day is Saturday. And you decide, you know what, I'm going to go out and have a big breakfast on Saturday because I did a good job all week. I didn't eat very light breakfast. I didn't eat much lunch, so I'm going to have a big breakfast. Well, your body held on to the food that you ate the night before, thinking it's not going to get fed again for another 24 hours. And what happens? Now you take in this huge breakfast, what hasn't burnt off everything you ate for dinner before. And that's what happens to start those storage in the fat cells, and starts, unfortunately, contributing to that excessive weight gain. That help a little bit? I didn't mean to go down a nutritional path there and talk about it, but it's a big part because it ties right into motivation. Motivation to do the right thing for yourself, eating, drinking water, and obviously bathing, but also motivating our mind. And it all works hand in hand. Now, do I have it all figured out? Everything I'm telling you, do I by the letter, by the T, do I do it? Well, I don't want to lie to you and tell you yes, because I struggle with it too. It's a constant struggle. But I'm telling you, my motivation is doing these podcasts, doing these shows, reading those 5-star reviews, seeing, getting the letters and the messages. Well, I guess not letters anymore, but what do you call it? Emails. Yeah, that's real simple. What year is this? But and that's my motivation to keep doing it. And of course, I want to make sure I do the best I can to practice what I preach. So, and oftentimes when I have failures and setbacks, I talk about those too. Good. All right. Well, I'm hopeful this is what you needed today, this motivation. No, it doesn't last. Neither does bathing, but neither does eating once a day or drinking 1 glass of water a day. No, that doesn't last. That's why we got to stay consistent. Tom Ziglar talks about PC is persistent consistency. Make sure we're persistent with what we're doing and consistently doing that daily, persistently not giving up, but consistently doing the things like staying motivated each and every day. Good. Awesome sauce. Oh, and just a reminder, so I don't forget to tell you, be sure to stay empowered. And the best way to stay empowered throughout the week is by, and I'm sure you've already done this, but if you haven't, liking and subscribing to the podcast here, and of course that 5-star review, and our YouTube channel. I've hired a company now for the YouTube channel that does all the behind-the-scenes stuff. They add in the video images, the clips, the words across the screen there, and I'm not saying all the technical terms because I'm not sure what those are, but anyway, really spicing up and empowering the videos. So check those out, that YouTube channel, and there you get your daily motivation, inspiration there as well with all the new videos coming out. And of course, our Facebook and Instagram page, and that is Warrior Confidence, at Warrior Confidence, that at sign, and then Warrior Confidence is the name of it, just like the new podcast name is Building Warrior Confidence. But it's all that, I guess, the at, whatever that at is, you know what I'm talking about, that A with a circle around it. Once again, I probably need to get more technical. But anyway, what else? Oh, the books. If you haven't had a chance to pick up one copy of one of our books or We've got 2 books out. One's Becoming Bully Proof. It's me as a 12-year-old, meeting me 40 years later as Master Grogan, going on a journey together where the older me is teaching the younger me everything I wish I would have known about believing in myself, standing up for myself, and defeating not only the bullies on the outside, but mainly the bully on the inside. And my other book is a little kid's affirmation book. It teaches the kids the ABCs, and it's called I Believe in Me, A through Z Positive Affirmations. So it not only teaches the kids the ABCs, but it also teaches them a positive affirmation to help empower them. And I like to say it's planting, the positive seeds in the little mental garden at an early age to help empower them, because it's not a matter of if, but when somebody tries to bully them, or when they have some self-doubt and limiting beliefs in their own mind. If they've got the right seeds planted, they can combat that. So those are the 2 books. Check those out. You can get those on our website, grogansbullyproof.com, or our website. Actually, we bought a new domain the other day. It's warriorconfidence.com. So that'll take you there as well. Or you can just go to Amazon, and Amazon, just look under my name, Rich Grogan. Good. All right. So a quick recap. Does motivation last? Well, it doesn't. Of course, neither does bathing, neither is eating, neither is staying hydrated. So we got to take care of those things, consistently. Be persistent about it and consistently do it each and every day. Same thing I'd encourage you, with exercise. The more you do it, I know it's always a tough start. It's always, before I exercise, I'm always trying to talk myself out of it. I don't know why. It's just the way the brain does it. And it's like, after all these years, really, you're still going to fight me about going and exercising? But that's what the brain does, right? I just wish the brain was as persistent about not exercising and not doing things that are good for you as it is about encouraging you to do things that are bad for you. Why is that? I don't know. That's just the way the brain works, right? It's actually, real quick, the way the brain works is it's programmed to keep us safe. So if we say we hate something, the brain makes a little mental note, so to speak, and says, hey, obviously he complains. He complains about working out. He says he hates it. So anytime he has that thought come up about working out, man, we got to keep him from doing that. We got to keep him safe. The brain forgets afterwards when you feel like, man, I am so glad I did that. I am so glad I worked out. I'm so glad I meal prep and prepped the right food instead of just driving through a drive-through. The brain forgets that. All it remembers is I don't want to do it. I'm too tired. That's the way the brain works, because it's meant to keep us safe. Good. All right. So what are you going to do? How are you going to stay motivated? Send me an email, send a message, like and comment, because you can do that on the YouTube channel as well, because these actually air on the YouTube channel. So you can go there and check that out and listen to the podcast. And the YouTube channel for the podcast is just the audio. The YouTube channel for the video blogs, it's all on the same channel. Is you can I guess see that with the pictures and the images and everything else going there. So you get the best of both worlds there. But that's definitely a great way to stay empowered. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so very much for listening today. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I truly hope that you found value in this message, and I hope it was exactly what you needed today to give you that extra confidence, that extra belief in yourself, that extra motivation that you may have been looking for. Or maybe you didn't know you needed motivation, but now you got it. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to run with that. Well, that's kind of the whole goal, to empower you to believe in yourself, to courageously stand out in the crowd, take on any challenge or any bully, especially the bully in your mind that you're facing. Good. Awesome. Of course, if you found value in this, please kindly share it with someone else, because, our whole goal is to make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. And if you got value out of this and someone is desperately in need of some motivation, some uplifting, some empowerment, share it with them. Not only is it going to make you feel good about doing, the right thing to try and help somebody, but just think about how good it's going to make them feel. And it might be just what they need today. You never know. We never know the battles others are fighting. We don't. But we do know that there are ways we can help, and start sharing something that motivated and inspired you. Especially if they're your friends, you probably have common likes. There's a good chance they're going to like it as well. And then kindly encourage them to like and subscribe and share as well. All right. So keep believing in yourself. Keep building your warrior confidence by staying motivated daily. And I promise, man, life, if it's in a lull right now, it's going to get better. If it's better, it's going to get better than good. But you got to do what needs to be done in order to make it happen. It ain't just going to happen on its own. It's like, man, you didn't have to hit me with that right hook reality. Yeah, I did. All right, folks. Well, I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world. And until we talk again, You get out there and do your best, and I promise you'll be your very best. You will. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanks again for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you so very much for listening today. I am truly grateful. My goal is to empower millions of people with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in themselves in order to make our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. But I can't do it alone. So if you found value in this message, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it, and by subscribing and leaving a 5-star review. Be sure to pick up copies of my books for yourself and someone you care about at www.warriorconfidence.com. Also, remember to stay empowered throughout the week by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Facebook and Instagram pages at Warrior Confidence. Thank you again, and have a blessed day.